We're here and ready this morning. How are you doing? Hope everybody is doing well this morning. Off we go into the market. Gotta have the morning preps. Pre-market preps are pertinent. Y'all see what I did there? Pre-market preps are pertinent. You must be ready to prep. You can't hop up and hop in. Now, as a seller, you can kind of come to the party a little bit later because there's not as much prep work that's needed as a seller, but you still got to look at some stuff. You need to know what's coming down the pike. I'm on the P's this morning. What's coming down the pike? Excuse me, what is on the list of the meetings and stuff for the day? You kind of need to know what are the landmines that could be facing you each day. So you do got to kind of take a little time to check that out because you want to know what meetings are coming up. Hey, Marcia. Hey, Ward. You kind of want to know what meetings, what kind of data is dropping. If there's some big earnings, if we're in earnings season, we're right now in the midst of a very news driven market. So I have one feed that talks about the unusual whales, it's called. And in that feed, it gives the news. So I can see, hot news that pops up. Well, if I go to it, I can see it. I have to go and look at the news, and I'm looking this way because it's in a Discord, and I can see anybody who sees unusual whales through whatever your way of seeing it. It kind of gives you, for me, it's very it's not like a big feed, but it's a running thing. Like it just said that there's NATO allies face major security challenges. Besant is going to meet the lawmakers at 11 today. Russia Ministry of Defense has some stuff. Kind of comes in bullets, bump, bump, bump. So like the other day, last Tuesday maybe, when we were sending our fighter pilots or fighter jets somewhere, that came up through unusual whales, and I was like, okay, the market's getting ready to take a turn. That's the kind of news I need to be able to see it in quick bullet form. I don't need it to be like the people talking, the CNBC. That is too much for me, but I like to be able to see it in bullet form there. That works for me. Hey, Selena. Selena said, I'm glad I was able to tune in live this morning. Yay, me too. Adasa, hey, good to see you. And Denise, good morning. All right, so we're here this morning. It's about 8:17. I'm trying to give the platforms a little bit of time to tell the people that we're here, but I don't have a lot of time because y'all know I'm back at the university and it is interrupting my trading mornings, but I'm working on your girl is gonna have a plan. The two things have got to coexist, okay? The two things have got to coexist. I need to be able to teach my couple of summer classes, and I need to be able to trade. That's why I am educator to trader. I'm both. Two things can be happening at the same time. It's not one or the other. They are, as they say, both of them. BOFFUM. Both of them. I need to be able to do both things, and I feel like I can do both things. So that's what we are doing over in these parts. Okay, let's go ahead and get our show on the road. Let's get our show running. All right. Our volatility this morning, or the VIX, is at 1712 this morning. VIX being down in the 17s means the market is up a bit. Yesterday, we did cross just a little bit into 6100, and it looks like we may be crossing over into the 6100 even again this morning. I'm going to take us to the chart. Let's take us back to just one chart. The ES is over here on the right, which is 6156. You can't necessarily see. This is ES over here. You can see that it's 6155 over here. That's ES. This is SPX 500 on this bigger chart. It's not big, bigger chart. It's 6103. So we're a little bit above 6100 this morning on SPX, which means at this point we would have a little bit of a gap up because we closed yesterday at 6092. So we're about 10 points above where we closed yesterday. Selena said my 1 DTE is looking good this morning. Order set to close. Yes, ma'am. My 1 DTE Definitely set to close it. And I think my call credit spread side is like at 60-40, 61-40, something like that. We're going to close it as soon as the market open too. You're not going to run up in there and run through my strike again today like we did yesterday. Okay, okay, okay. No, we're not doing that. I think you got a put credit spread. I actually did have a put credit spread and a call credit spread, but we're going to pull our profits right off the table at the open. Yes, ma'am. Okay. But that's where we are with that. Let's go see the news. What we got in the news: Americans are feeling the cracks in the labor market. Downbeat consumers aren't getting it twisted. There are clear signs of slowing all over the place right now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. EU vows to retaliate if the U.S. sticks with baseline 10% tariffs. U.S. stock futures are steady with record highs in reach. Yeah, we're definitely pretty high up there. Doge layoffs are leaving their mark on DC's housing market. Trump baffles. Okay. My okay. Okay. That stop. Okay. That same unusual wells I was talking about decided it was going to tell me about what was going on in my ear. I was like, what do you know? We don't want to hear about it. I just want to see it. Okay. Trump baffles with the sudden U-turn on China buying Iran oil. General Mills profits forecast falls short as tariffs lift costs. New X date shows US could run out of money in August. Okay. Car makers push back against Apple's takeover of the dashboard. Dun dun dun. Besant predicts that GOP will reach salt truce in 48 hours. China is building a mega-sized consumer economy. They've been building that. China been playing chess while we've been playing checkers. Pretty much that's been going on. I'm trying to think of what other news over here we interested in hearing. Mm, all righty. Fed kicks off the effort to ease the bank leverage rules. That's interesting. All right. We've had Powell testified almost all day yesterday. The market continued to climb yesterday as he did that. It just chugged on up yesterday, and up and up and up some more as he. That's not the one I wanted. I wanted this one to go to SPX. It just chugged up. We uh, kept anticipating that at some point, this was SPX. Let me go back to a one screen. That ES I don't need over there, and it's just taking up real estate. Let me get a 30-minute chart. That way I can put more data on this screen. I'm not at home where I have my big screen where I can put a bunch of stuff on here at once. So I have to minimize. Okay, this is yesterday. Basically, we had a massive gap up based on news, right? We gapped up here. This was the big gap that was left behind here. The price dipped down into that gap just a little bit, kind of got me excited, thinking we were going to come down and try to close some of that gap. Did not. And then it moved on up. It got to a little bit where it paused a little bit at 60.79. It went up to a weekly resistance at 60.90. It danced around there for a minute. That weekly resistance, weekly, WEEK, held for a minute, but the push was too pushy, and it definitely pushed on through and made it above it. It got up to 6100 yesterday, which we anticipated that it would. Gamma showed that it was going to get up to 6100, and it actually did. It danced around there for a little while. It couldn't really push through. It finally pushed through for just a little bit, and then it fell off, and we closed at 60.92. Selena said that gap up was horrible for my call credit spread yesterday. Yes, and it was horrible for mine too. I didn't necessarily have a plan. I had a plan, but I couldn't execute my plan because I was in the classroom, and I need to be able when if I was at home, I would have been able to watch the chart and been able to trade my way to recover then those losses but I wasn't in front of a chart, and it's hard. I can't trade and teach at the same time. I need to be able to do both of them, but I can't do them at the same time, especially because I was on day 2 of a new semester and I'm getting them situated on how I'm gonna trade, how we gonna teach, and what's our environment of our classroom gonna be. Even though it's in a university classroom, I still got to set the stage. Still got to set the stage, right? Okay. Okay, we got to go off of you, sir, because you keep wanting to jump in and tell me all about it. Okay. The unusual Wales guy still wants to tell me all about it in my ear, and that's not the way we can do my call. Okay, so that was yesterday. 6092 definitely never did come back and get that gap, but it's gonna want to get it. So, because SPX doesn't like to leave gaps behind too long, it will go back and get it. The question is when. We don't really know when, but we do know it will go back for that gap. All right, let's look. Pre-market Dow futures are. Let me refresh this because this has been open for a minute. I want to make sure that it is still. NATO, the allies agreed to a higher than 5% something something. Refreshed it before I got to read the rest of the little note. While that's refreshing, let me go check out the calendar for today. Today is Wednesday. It's hump day. Fed Chair Powell is going to testify at 10 o'clock again. Yesterday, again, he testified almost all day. Lord, new home sales is also at 10 o'clock, and at 10:30 we have crude oil inventories, which really is more of an orange folder, not really a yellow one. But that's what's happening on that calendar. 10 o'clock, Powell starts to testify. And then over here on investing.com, 10 o'clock, we got Powell coming in, new home sales, crude oil inventory. Notice over here, crude oil inventory has 3 stars. Let you know it's more than a yellow folder, right? And nothing else besides that. 5-year note auction happens at 12 o'clock. So that's a 2-star, maybe a little bit of volatility, but that's going to happen at 12 o'clock. All right. Let me see if CNBC is ready to tell us some stuff now. Not quite. Oh, there we go. NATO allies agreed to a higher 5% defense spending target. Pre-market, everything's green in the futures. Dow futures up 4. S&P futures up 9.5, NASDAQ futures up 80, oil is green, and US 10-year bonds also green. Looking at, oh goodness, that's going to go to the wrong page. Looking at Europe, everything's red over in Europe. Treasury yields hold steady as investors monitor the Israel-Iran ceasefire. Maybe it's really a ceasefire because yesterday they said it was a ceasefire, but somebody was still shooting at the other one. In Asia, everything's green. Asia Pacific markets trade mixed as investors weigh Fed comments. Israel, Iran ceasefire still on the watch. Bitcoin is green. It's at 107,000, which, people, when they're not sure what to do with their money, they move it to a place that is, at least they can, cross the boundaries. Bitcoin seems to be the place. Ethereum is red, but it's at 2420. Solana 145. Dogecoin is 16.16, and XRP is 2.19. All right. Let's go see what Adam had to say. Hey, Tanya. Hey, My Day Littlefield. Hey, Antonia. And hey, Janae. Good morning. Happy hump day to everyone. Let's see what Adam had to say this morning. Yesterday, SPX broke out of a 2-week 59, 28, 60, 31 bull triangle, and we saw day one of the breakout trading, plus 185 points from Sunday's long. Yesterday's targets were 60.85, 60.96, and 61.13. Says almost here. Not quite for SPX. Plan today, 0 to do, but hold your runners until supports fail. 61.13, 61.23, 61.43 are up next. If 60.90 fails, then we dip to 60.74 through 60.78. The gap between ES and SPX is 50 points. Gap between those two. So if you're watching Adam's numbers, you need to subtract 50 points because he trades ES and we trade SPX. So if you're looking at Adam's tweets, He tweets and Twitters and X's over on X. You subtract 50 points from his numbers at this point. Every day I check to see what the gap is. That's why I see here that I put here that the gap is 50 points. And as that gap closes, I change the numbers. Right. If you're trading XSP, that range is 607 to 612. It's the low of 607 up to a high of 612. So if you're trading XSP, then that's what that is. Okay. Okay. SPX 500 is, I'm looking over there. Alrighty. Not sure if anybody is trading our list this week. You should be, because there's good stuff on this list. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Even with the movement we got going, there's still individual stocks don't move the same as the big overall market. If you've got things that are being affected by, oil, energy, those kind of things may be stuff that you watch, but other things are just you trade your chart. Watch your chart and trade your chart. Okay. Here's a good list of 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 stocks you could look at. And Wednesday is a really good day to trade for that same Friday, because you got just a couple days to release your collateral. Look at the chart. These same numbers may or may not be numbers that you use, but these are good stocks. And if you're in my community, of course, and you like these stocks, you can always ask about them to see what do you think about this. Tanya says, I traded IWM. Yeah, my IWM was opened by Peakbot. I use Peakbot for my entries and exits. IWM was entered by them last Friday and it exited yesterday. Peakbot closed it for profits yesterday. Automated trading, I didn't have to do anything. Didn't have to do a thing. Mr. West says Tesla's killing me with the major ups and downs. Yeah, Tesla falls on the high risk trade. So if you decide you're going to trade Tesla, just know you're going to ride the roller coaster. Anybody ever rode Shikra at Busch Gardens? Anybody in my community ever ridden? I love Shikra. I love roller coasters, to be honest, but I'm not a fan of the SPX roller coaster, even though I ride it every day. But Shikra at is at Busch Gardens in Tampa Bay, and Shikra is one of those roller coasters you ride, and then you get to the edge, and it hangs you over the edge of the roller coaster, and then it drops you literally 90 degrees. It's one of the few, if not the only roller coaster that drops you 90 degrees. Most roller coasters don't have a 90-degree angle, just because it's not the best way to do that. 90-degree angle on a roller coaster is not the best engineering move, but they do it anyway. I'm in Tesla as well, Mr. Mac, so I know about that. Tanya says it's ready to close, but my order did not get filled. Yeah, my order got filled yesterday. I think it was for 2 or 3 cents. I think it was on mine. But speaking of Peakbot, if you're looking to trade automated trading with Peakbot, they have changed their pricing structure. And I need to put a message in my community. They've changed their pricing structure, and they've also changed my affiliate link. So peakbot.com/E2TPB is what it is if you want to trade with Peakbot. It basically is automated trading. It enters your trades, exits your trades. If you use my link, you can get 25% off your first month. Okay. I want to say 25% off your first month, but they have basically a one tier system now. Everybody's paying the same price. It's not the levels. Before they had it at like 29, 59, 99. Now they've got one price. Everybody's paying $99 and you get access to everything. That's basically what they did, which I think is good, because before it was, if you had this tier, you got this stuff. And if you had this tier, you got more of this stuff. And now everybody pays one thing and you get access to everything. So that I'm sure definitely streamlined their payment processing and all those good things. And when people want to change from one thing to the other, I know it just makes things simpler. So but if you want automated trading, especially for those of you who are, who have jobs, who still want to be able to trade, but you can't watch all these different stocks all day long because you're making the money to trade with, hello, then you want help in automated trading, go over, check out, you can use my link. Um, I may need to type it in as a full link because Facebook doesn't like it when you only do the back end and not do the front end. Let's see if it'll like it better that way. Okay, so there's that. I didn't want to go to the membership just yet. I wanted to go back to the chart. I've got about 10 minutes, so I need to pick up the pace. Got 10 minutes before I need to change gears and be on my way to class. Okay, I'm removing this so I can go to the chart. I want to see where we are in the pre-markets. Want to see where we are in the pre-markets. Let me turn off some stuff. Definitely will turn off VWAP. We don't need VWAP right now, and we don't need ORB right now. Okay, I'm gonna go with a 15-minute chart. We're looking at SPY first this morning. SPY closed yesterday at 606.76 and it's currently at 607.78. Right, so it's up about $1 from where it closed. Looks like we got some support that showed up around 606.29. We got some more support in the pre-market at 606.69, and then we've got 607.65. These are on the 15-minute chart. Those are some little supports, and it's actually going to bounce right back into that area just now. Little resistance looks like maybe at 608.07. That's where it turned around this morning. So we'll watch and see what happens there. But it's going to have a little bit of a gap to fill this morning as well because it closed at 606 and it's currently at 607. All right. It's going to be a little bit of a gap up over there at SPY. Now we talked about a little pre-market gap strategy, which I was loving my entry, first thing in the morning gap strategy. I can't do it now though because I be in the class. Okay. Triple Q closed at 539. It is currently at 541, so it's going to have a little bit of a gap up open as well. Got a few little supports here. 540 looks like it may be a support. 540.63 looks like it may be one as well. Okay, move out the way so I can see. I have these sizes. The size of these axis, these axis information is set based on my computer, my big screen at home, not based on this little monitor screen. So that's why it looks like it's overpowering because it is. At home, it's the perfect size. Here, it's too big. All right. But triple Q looks like it's going to have a gap up open as well to close yesterday, like I said, at 539.77, and it's currently at 541. So a couple dollars, a gap up on triple Q is imminent. We're about an hour away from market opening, so there is still some time. Okay, for this to do something, it's still got some time. Let's look at IWM. IWM is a small cap. Look at all that dancing IWM's doing. IWM closed yesterday at 214.43, and it is currently at 214.60. So a little bit of a gap open, not so much, definitely not as much as the other dudes, the triple Q and SPY. We do have some support at 214.04 though. Looks like there is some resistance at 214.70, and the price is currently between those two. So there's going to be a little bit of a gap open, not as much with IWM. Again, we still got an hour, so we'll see what happens with that. We want to make sure that you're keeping in mind that at 10 o'clock today, you are going to have Powell start to testify. So you're going to, keep that in mind as you're entering your trades for the day. As a seller, we don't rush in too fast anyway. Right? We don't rush in too quick. We kind of watch, get the lay of the land, look at our gamma chart, right? We look at our gamma chart, see where see where prices may be going for the day, right? We check that out. And then we make our moves when we got some information. We don't have to move in too quick when we're sellers. We can wait and grab us some intel first. That's what we do, okay? Option Seller Zone membership. Basically, we trade SPX and XSP all day long. People in the community, we're talking, we're using information, we're checking out, we're working together because trading is a lonely, lonely profession. Okay. I saw a tweet the other day that said, starting a trading business is probably the loneliest business you can start. So you have to really do this with people. You work with a team, you work with a group, you work with people who are trading just like you that you can communicate with because it can be lonely. Not only can it be lonely, it is very hard on the nervous system because money is involved. And anytime everybody knows about how you look and view money is impacted every time you're in a trade, whether you're winning that trade or losing that trade. How you view money gets impacted because if you're winning, your system is running. If you're losing, your system is running, and you're thinking of all the things that are going on in that situation. Okay, so you need to be amongst people you can communicate with, who understand what you're dealing with, who you can comfortably talk to. You need this community. All right. I know that I've communicated, I've curated, not communicated, I've curated a really nice community of people who can understand where you are, work with you, and we all work together. Okay. Of course, I am the coach, but there are a lot of people who are very talented and skilled and experienced people. I just happen to be the leader. Right. So we all work together though. There's no big eyes and little U's over there. We all work together. All right. So if you want to, come on over there and join us, you are welcome. Okay. You can check us out at http e2t.trading. You can come over and join us over there. Okay. Bye bye. E2T University is coming up in August for those who want to learn and get on board and start at the beginning. And I'm a beginner. I really want to learn. This is where you're going to start up over at E2T University in August. Ross said, I'm coming back soon. Come on back, Ross. I know you already got the foundational information. You just need to come on back and hop on board. And listen, Ross, since you left, we don't turned it up a bit. I believe you can step right back in and start pulling in your change. I believe you can start pulling in a check right off rip because we got some more fine-tuned skills even since you left. We were doing okay when you were there too, but we do it even better now. All right, so come on back. We got all the trainings and stuff. I jumped past that. All the trainings and stuff are at my website, educatortotrader.com. Go over, get your free resources, e2t-freebies.com. Come over and get your free resources. Denise says the Peakbot link didn't work for me. It's the discount. He told me that it was the new link was there. If that new one don't work, Denise, use the old one, and because it's supposed to be starting to work, but go back to use the old one because I don't know if the developer has the new one up and running just yet. Stick with the Go with the E2T. Yes, Roz, come on in. I believe you can pick right up and you can pick it up and run it, and you can start pulling your check in right away. And we got defined times, and we got a trades channel now. So the trades are coming to one channel. So even if you're not able to watch all day, which many people are not, which is why I have a trades channel now, all you can do is watch that channel, and you can enter just watching that and do your thing. Okay. I just gave you the old link, Denise. I just put it in the chat. Okay. One-on-one coaching, if you need that, it's over there too. All right, let's go on to the declaration because we're at the end of the show. I think I covered everything I was going to cover. I declare I'm a great trader, a successful trader, and a focused trader. I declare my wins exceed my losses. My account's growing steadily. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I have a strategy that I use for my trades. I don't randomly place trades. I'm a level-headed trader who trades my plan and not my emotions. Lord, it's you who gives us the power to get wealth. Help us today to trade our strategy with wisdom and knowledge. Allow us to prosper enough to have what we need and enough to bless others. In Jesus' name, amen. All righty. All righty. This is another great day in the market. Yesterday is gone. Whatever happened yesterday, we had to leave it behind. Okay. For me, my call credit spread got breached yesterday before I even opened up the platform. That big gap up yesterday threw my one DTE trade into the fire, and the price never came back. So I took a loss yesterday based on my one DTE, and I had to just say, okay, it's what it is. Today's a whole new day. We pick up and run it. New day, new opportunity. We keep a little gunpowder so we can pull the trigger one more time. Today's a new day. We come into the market, look at what we see, and trade what we see. All right. That's the way that goes. We leave yesterday behind us. That's what we do. Right. Money is currency. It will continue to flow just like the current of the river. It don't stop flowing because something get in the way. We just keep flowing. We just keep flowing. All righty. I want you all to do 3 things today. I want you to stay green. I want you to get this money, and I want you to have a great green day. All right. Goodbye, everyone. I'll see you all in the market. Bye bye.